So guys, the really big, amazing thing about market cycles like this is when we've been trending down for so long, we start forming really big, long-term bullish patterns. And I've already spoken to you guys about this for Bitcoin. If you've been subscribed, you're going to know about this. But I want to show you what this looks like with Ethereum, guys, because Ethereum right now is actually in a really big long-term bullish pattern, which I think is very, very exciting. And we are getting a speculative target of about $3,600, right? Even in our worst case scenario, I'm going to show you what this looks like later on in the video. We're still looking at some really nice targets like $3,500. I'm going to break all of this down for you, show you exactly what I'm seeing, the kind of probabilities that I'm looking at as well for this. So if you're excited, do me a favor, smash up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell before we get right into this. But what is this looking like? So first of all, let's refresh ourselves with what this chart looks like. So this is Ethereum's run up to its all-time high up at $5,000. And ever since then, we've kind of been trading in a bit of a kind of falling wedge pattern. And I want to show you what this falling wedge pattern looks like right here with this chart. Pretty much drawn right from the top all the way down to, you know, our low that we set in July and touching all of our highs right here. Let me draw this for you on the chart so that you can familiarize yourself with what this looks like. It's looking something a little bit like this, right? So we've got this, and actually I need to be on the linear chart for this. We've got something a little bit like this right here, where if we connect up all of our touches, we've been finding really consistent resistance along the top end of this line, and potentially also some pretty, some fairly good support as well. You know, if we take a look at the support hits, this was really consistent down here in summer of last year, and with our low right here in summer of this year as well, you know, kind of really confirming the validity of this support level and the resistance level as well, just kind of very consistently, equally, you know, with equally spaced out hits, really quite clearly being defined as resistance. And I don't want to fluff around with this video, just to get straight to the target here. The reason I gave you guys this $3,600 target is because if we measure the height of this wedge, this is moving up by about 86%. So let's go ahead and show you what this looks like. I'm sorry, I'm using the completely wrong lines right here, my bad. We have to redraw it to look something a little bit like this, if I'm not mistaken. It's actually drawn perfectly on this chart, so I don't know why I'm trying to use that. We have an 86% wedge right here, and it actually corresponds to a $2,200 move, and that's actually the more important number that I want you guys to focus on, because if we end up getting this breakout right here from our resistance level, that is a further potential $2,200 move. You know, generally just whatever the height of the wedge is when we start it is generally a fair target that we can use. And this on its own is really cool. Like, I could end the video here and you guys would have actually, in my opinion, a really good solid piece of analysis, because it's long term, right? This wedge has been going, like, I know this is kind of hard to believe right now, but this wedge has been going on since, you know, at least kind of October, if not even later, like earlier, even like July, August of last year up until now. So we are looking at a pattern that's basically over a year long. So it doesn't really matter how hard this is to believe right now. This is a very, very long-term bullish pattern, and crypto, in my opinion, isn't dying, probably in your opinion too. So this on its own looks good, but I'm going to get this really, really spiced up. I'm going to show to you how this looks a lot better to me, actually, with this chart right here, because what I want to focus your attention on is actually this support level down here. This is a level that we were talking about on the YouTube channel. So those of you who are subscribed are going to know all about this, but this is quite an important level for Ethereum. I actually I think it would be more appropriate if I draw this as a box, just to show you that this is more of a range than just a key kind of line. But we're basically looking at this kind of $1,250 up to $1,300 kind of support area, right? So I'm just going to remove this line and take a look at the reversals that happen here, guys. This is really, really interesting. If we look at what was happening right here, when Ethereum was making its first run up, you know, where it broke its previous all-time high. If you guys remember, Ethereum set its all-time high way back. I don't think it's going to show on this chart. Oh, yeah, it will. It set its all-time high way back right here. This was obviously a very, very important level. This is basically the same all-time high level. By the way, we're trading at it right now. So just a very important area, basically of confluence, really, where a bunch of different things are coming together at the very same price level. That to me tells me that these are really important potential reversal levels. And that's important because if we're getting a reversal, but we're falling down into this level, well, that means the reversal is probably to the upside. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. What I want to get clear first is a very, very good, important level. We already found resistance here before and it triggered a multi-year bear market. And then when we were rallying back up, getting ready to clear this all-time high, we were struggling right here. When we managed to get above it, let's calculate, when we managed to get above it, it took 26 days, a really, really respectable time frame for the market to go up and then come back down to confirm this area, get that kiss of life, so to speak, before the market rallied really, really hard. And actually off this price level, we ended up getting a really strong 240% move within the next 73 days, or of course, right up to the all-time high, which took a lot longer, but still ended up coming just off this support level. Again, if we measure the kind of loss that we saw from this level, this was 94% loss. Okay, Ethereum went from $1,400 down to $80 just off this resistance area. So safe to say, this is a very bloody important level on the chart. And if we take a look at how we interacted with this level before, guys, remember this big crash that we had earlier this year, right? When Bitcoin fell down to $17,000, Ethereum got absolutely fucked. Ethereum got decimated on this drop. And it did something very, very bearish. It actually fell below this area, found resistance here multiple times, but we thankfully managed to climb above. And this was a really, really important move right here with Ethereum managing to climb above. If you were watching the channel back here, you're going to remember our analysis was on point with Ethereum right here, calling these big moves to the upside. And actually, just the trades I was making inside of VIP with Ethereum against Bitcoin were really, really impressive too. So guys, jump inside if you want to be able to watch me trading in these markets in real time as well. Just see every single move I'm making, why I'm making those moves. And you're going to get all the information about what I'm doing down to the dollar. So where I'm going to be entering my positions, where I'm going to be taking profits, and how I'm adjusting those plans on the fly. Because sometimes things change, and you will know exactly why I'm changing my plan and what I'm changing it to. But moving us back to the chart right here, we've now been finding support. And granted, this isn't ideal, right? If you've watched one of my recent live streams, you're going to know that I said, you know what, I'm a little bit concerned about how this is kind of trending up. This does look like, one of the classic kind of setups before the market really takes another tank downwards. But so far that hasn't happened, and I don't want to be overly bearish where I don't have to be, because we are getting a nice bounce off this area. And all we need in order to validate this, and potentially get that really big pump up is for Ethereum to get out of this sideways trading range. So let me show you what I mean by this. Ethereum has been trading in this, I'm actually just going to hide this, bear with. Just hide that right there. Ethereum has been trading in a sideways trading range that looks something a little bit like this, right? For quite some time. And we can stretch this out right from wick to wick. It doesn't really matter. Or you can tighten this and just show where the average kind of price action is happening. But I'm gonna go with this very broad example, because what I need to see is Ethereum getting above this yellow line right here, which sits at $1,400. The reason this is important is, again, if we zoom all the way back out and we look at all of the price history on Ethereum going back to 2017, 2018, guys, take a look at what this level corresponds to. This was the previous all-time high. This is the key level. Like I said, I did draw it as a box because I think a box is more appropriate. But if there's one basically dollar level that's important, it's this green line right here, and it corresponds with the very top of where we've been finding resistance lately. What is that telling you guys? To me, that's telling me that if we manage to get above that line, we should be able to get a really nice pump to the upside. And that's already happened before, so I'm not making this up, right? We've actually managed to get some nice bounces off this area when we came back down here, and when we broke above, we got really, really nice moves. Guys, this was one daily candle. As soon as we pumped up, within that very same day, we had a further 12% move to the upside. This candle in and of itself was an 18-19% positive candle in one day. Absolutely fucking huge, okay? If you don't think that's huge, you need to really reframe how you're viewing the markets. 18-90% is enormous. And from the breakout point, we still had a further 12% to the upside. Really, really significant price action here, and I don't see why it would be any different if Ethereum did the same thing right now. If we are able to get above this area of resistance, I don't see why we wouldn't be looking at a big explosion for it. And it's similar to what I've been saying about Bitcoin as well, right? If you've watched my video on Bitcoin yesterday, I basically said something very, very similar, where if Bitcoin is able to get above this green line right here, this $20,000 to $20,300 area, it should be pretty easy for Bitcoin to get right up here. It's exactly the same principle. Generally, we just shoot straight up within this range. I'm not going to recap that because it was already in yesterday's video, so just double check that you are subscribed so that you don't miss that content. But with Ethereum, this area is looking even bigger. This area is looking far, far more juicy and exciting. And as far as trading opportunities go, this is definitely far more exciting in my opinion. And the really good news is that if we are able to actually produce a move like this to the upside, we're then going to be confirming something else, which is a potential breakout above this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, right? So now we're really starting to spice things up, ladies and gents. You guys know the deal. I love my Ichimoku clouds. They're a very, very reliable indicator. What does a 12% pump look like for Ethereum? That would put us right up here. Look at how much headroom we have above this Ichimoku cloud. We would clear it by 5% if we reproduce the last move. And we don't have to. We might not even reproduce it. We could, fake out and then come right back down. We could get a 15% move, or we could get a 2% move, or something in between. None of this stuff is guaranteed, right? We're only looking at probabilities. But what I'm saying is that if we do reproduce something similar to what we've seen in the past, we're going to be clearing a really important area of resistance. And we've already found resistance with the Ichimoku cloud. Once here, a second time here, and the third time right now, we're already struggling in this cloud. So this is a real area of resistance. We're going to be clearing important levels on this chart if we manage to break above this $1,400 area and get a little bit of momentum behind us at the same time. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is we're then going to be targeting the upside of this wedge, right? So this line right here is going to be sitting at roughly 1520. If we take a look at this target, if we reproduce that same 12% move, which absolutely is not guaranteed, anything can happen above, below, in between, whatever, that 12% area. But if we reproduce something similar, we are looking at even getting above this trend line right here, depending on when it happens, obviously, because this trend line is at higher levels if we do it faster, and it's at lower levels if we do it slower. But nonetheless, we're going to be right up in that range that we really, really want to be breaking out of if we manage to reproduce that kind of move. And obviously, what this could mean is that we're just potentially more likely to manage to get this breakout. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything right here. So we're going to be breaking that 4-hour cloud. We're going to be breaking resistance at 1400. And yeah, we're going to be reaching the upper trend line of this wedge for the third time within a very short space of time, right? So let me show you this right here. We've already hit this line right here. This was, I don't know, August. We hit it again, maybe in September or whatever. I don't actually know the date, so I can show it to you. Let's just look at this chart. Let me draw it myself. So one sec. Let's go ahead and hide all of this stuff because this is actually really useful, all of these lines. And just take a look at this resistance line. Let me make sure I'm drawing it properly. Bam, right there. So you can see we've already gotten one hit of this resistance back here in August, another hit in September. This would be the third hit within a short space of time. And that is very, very significant, ladies and gents. That's actually a really big deal because that means we're producing quite kind of rapid fire hits of this resistance area. And bearing in mind now, like I said, this resistance area has been acting on the market for basically 1 year now. Is it time to break out? I don't know, but obviously we can't keep doing this forever, right? We could, of course, nothing is guaranteed, but it's highly unlikely. Eventually, we're going to be getting a breakout, I would imagine, and I think that we've got a really good chance to get that breakout now if we're able to pump above this $1,400 area. And this is actually kind of the premise of the video, is that what a breakout above $1,400 would mean, which is so close to happening. We're like $40 away from that resistance level. We're like $100 away from pumping, from getting a nice little clean breakout above that $1,400 level. What that would mean is that the market would probably carry itself up. We wouldn't have to do anything. Fear of missing out would set in. Short positions would get squeezed out. These kind of factors would play on the market that could just very rapidly elevate the market up, and that could give us the breakout without us having actually having to do anything. And that's where this gets really, really exciting, right? It's when the market kind of takes care of itself because we've been trending down for so long. This is something that people really kind of struggle to believe and acknowledge, and I'm not trying to really jump into the deep end and say that I'm massively bullish on these things. Obviously, the charts still look horrible, but they look horrible because of lagging indicators, ladies and gents. Again, what I'm trying to focus on, and what I've been focusing on throughout this market since it became shit over the last year, is sentiment, right? I've been showing you the fear and greed index damn near every single day. And yes, we have managed to peak above extreme fear now for the first time in a little while, but we are still at very, very poor levels with our sentiment, guys. Just look at how low it's been and for how long it's been low, right? I mean, we in the past, we've had, neutral levels, greedy levels, and so on. We haven't seen anything like that pretty much since kind of March of this year. And even that was very, very short-lived. Back here, we were living in greedy territory. You know what I mean? Now we're living in some quite fearful territory. So again, we just look at sentiment from that perspective, and I think that we've got a really nice potential chance. And obviously, this is also going to be dependent on what happens with the S&P 500, for example, which is actually looking pretty good, in my opinion. This market opens in 3 hours, so we'll take a look at what happens there later on. I'm going to be making another video later on tonight, so make sure that you are staying tuned for that. You've got the bell icon checked, and that you're actually in the 𝗪𝗡𝗡𝗧𝗏 Gold Telegram group, because when you follow that first link in the description, you're going to be getting more analysis from myself and my team for free, around the clock, ping straight to your phone, as well as notifications on these videos, so that you don't miss them and that you can get them when they're hot, which is obviously when it's the best time to watch them. So I think it would also be somewhat dependent on the dollar, and that is something that I'll be talking about later on in today's video as well. But all of this looking really, really exciting. I mean, if we get a breakout like that, I mean, it's instantly looking like some really nice, potentially very juicy moves right here. I mean, that 11% move taking us up to the trend line, and if we manage to get the breakout, it starts to get pretty ridiculous, right? Because this is, like I said, a potential kind of $2,200 pump, 155% move to the upside. Really, really exciting stuff, and you guys know the deal. If you want to be able to trade something like this, I would be doing it on Bybit. This is a position also, in addition to what I said yesterday for Bitcoin, that I'm interested in trading. And if I do it, I will be doing it on Bybit. So go ahead and check Bybit out with the link in the description down below, because if you want to do something similar, you're going to get, or do anything at all, you're going to be getting over $4,000 in bonuses when you follow my link in the description down below and sign up to Bybit. And like I said before, guys, this works even if you already have an account. You can just make a brand new account and you'll still get this $4,000 bonus. You can trade with it. If you make profits, you can withdraw those profits. That's your money. So go ahead and check it out while this offer lasts. And by the way, if you're looking for something that would work in the UK and some other countries like the United States without a VPN, without even using KYC, then BitGet is also available for you guys, and they are also offering you guys actually $8,000 in bonuses. So double what Bybit is offering. So you're getting $12,000 in bonuses just by watching this YouTube video. Go ahead and check it out. BitGet, also an absolutely phenomenal exchange. You guys know, though, for me, Bybit is going to be my preferred, but they're both really, really good. And together you're getting over $12,000 in bonuses anyway. So go ahead and check them out. If you like the sound of all that free cash and all those free bonuses, this is well worth taking a look at. But taking a look at this Ethereum chart as well, though, what I want to cover with you is what happens if I'm wrong. Now, this is an essential component of my analysis, and I always try and bring this in, right? This is really, really important, because as traders, as analysts, we're not necessarily trying to be right all the time. We're just trying to understand the probabilities. And a big part of understanding these probabilities is also acknowledging where we might be wrong and how likely we are to be wrong and what happens if we're wrong. And this is what I was mentioning at the beginning of the video, where if things actually go bad for Ethereum, it's still not really that concerning to me. And I'm about to show you why. Take a look at this chart right here. This chart shows you what would happen if Ethereum actually ends up falling down to the bottom of this wedge again, right? So this is the same wedge that you saw right at the beginning of the video. It's just drawn in a way where the chart is slightly different. If we end up hitting the bottom of this wedge, we'd still be finding support potentially around this $1,000 area, which lines up really nicely basically with where Ethereum bottomed out at. This would actually be very, very exciting indeed if Ethereum was able to print something like this. And this, I've just realized, this wedge has been drawn incorrectly from me. There's a few different wedges here. So these charts have done it right. I just haven't. I've just woken up, guys. Sorry about that. And so if we do end up kind of falling down to the bottom of this range, we've still potentially got a nice little way to be able to break out. And if we still print that very same $2,200 move to the upside to give us this target, that doesn't actually change where we're going by very much. We still have a really, really nice chance to break out. We basically just have a slightly lower breakout point. Our breakout point would be about $100 lower, right? If we break out over here, we would be breaking out roughly $100 higher than if we break out over here, or 150, 200. It doesn't really make a difference. And so that that lowers our target from 3,600 down to 3,400, 3,500. It really doesn't matter. The price would still end up potentially doubling if we do something like that. And I think what's also really cool to keep in mind is that we've got a green Ichimoku cloud right here for Ethereum. So this is also something that it's good. It doesn't make a huge difference right now until we get there, but this is something that shows us that if we do kind of get up into this range, we should be able to get some really nice momentum following through with the price action as well. So that is something which I'm definitely very, very much looking forward to. Huge chart here for Ethereum, ladies and gents. It's very, very exciting to me because, like I said, this is what happens when the market stays shit for a long time. And I know for sure that this is worth paying attention to right now because nobody wants to discuss ideas like this right now. Everybody is only rubbing themselves off to price targets of like $10,000 for Bitcoin, $300 for Ethereum and whatever. And you know what? I totally get it. I think those are very, very valid predictions, but I also understand how sentiment works. You know what? Sometimes, guys, we take the scenic route. Sometimes if we are going down to levels like $10,000 for Bitcoin, we're first going to be going nicely up and then, dropping back down. That's how Bitcoin behaves. That's how Ethereum behaves. That's how crypto behaves. And you know what? The reason I know I'm right about this is because so many people would be screwed over if this happens. And that is precisely all I need to know to tell me that this is indeed something which we should be watching out for. I'm not saying that it's certainly going to happen, but these chart patterns have stood for a very long time, and right now we are knocking on the door, potentially getting ready to break out of them as well. So this is where I start paying attention. Like I said, guys, amazing trading opportunities right now, and potentially very soon. You're getting over $4,000 credited straight into your account when you sign up using my link in the description down below for Bybit. So go ahead and check it out if you like the sound of all of that free money. BitGet also offering you guys $8,000 in bonuses, and no KYC, no VPN required as well, at various places in the world as well. So obviously I can't endorse using it like that, but it is available. And actually I should say don't do it. But Bybit right here, if you are interested, is going to be my main platform. And if you want to see how I'll be trading this in real time as well, then it's going to be these steps on screen right here. Really hope you've enjoyed this one. Just make sure that you tune in for the next video that I'm going to be making later on today. Make sure you're subscribed, smash up the likes, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.